1 Rebirth. 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. It was the turn of the century, the year 2100, and the atmosphere was joyous in the Rajput household. The family of 4 were enjoying an extravagant feast at this monumental occasion. His mother lovingly smiled at him. Seeing his mother for the first time in 7 years, Rudra cried like a baby. He hugged his mother tight and just sobbed. He just held her and cried for 5 minutes straight before reorganizing his memory. He had somehow miraculously been reincarnated into his 21-year-old self, after being pushed down the stairs by the person he then considered his best friend. That guy. He was nothing more than a backstabbing bastard who pushed him down a flight of stairs for one epic item. Rudra's guild had earned that item and refused to sell it. His mother had died of an illness when he was 25. 4 years from now, and it was not a fatal disease, but to cure it one needed $20 million. Even if his entire family sold themselves, they could not make that amount. P alpha and D alpha no 10. In his mother's embrace, he resolved to save her this time. He then looked at the man who was his father, who was giving him dirty looks for crying in his mom's lap, who despite being so cold to him now, deep down treated him as his pride. The person he disappointed time and time again, who carried the burdens of the household alone, never letting them realize that the now peaceful Rajput household was actually in a $300,000 debt. He finally looked at his little brother, the angel of his life, Mahendra Rajput, a name that his little brother found extremely annoying, hence decided to call himself Max. Max was a prodigy, a genius who could have gone to Harvard if his family had enough money for his tuition. He was watching at his big brother cry sheepishly. Rudra resolved to change his family's situation this time, because all in all, family is the only people who have your backs through thick and thin. He would make money. Money enough to never face those circumstances again. He did not have enough to invest in stocks. Even if he did not believe enough to stay in the volatile market for long. The only thing he could trust was his own skills in the world-changing new game Omega, which would be released 4 days from now on the 5th of January 2100. Omega would change the world with its breathtakingly realistic graphics and extremely intelligent NPCs who could outsmart the players. It was a world of its own, and within 3 years 95% of Earth's population would join the game. Well, after the auction house opens, the in-game currency would be linked to the real-world currency with an exchange rate of 1 gold equals $25. Many multi-billion-dollar companies would join the game to get a piece of this big pie called Omega. The strong guilds controlling vast territories would earn enormous sums of money and gain investment from big corporations. Last time he was just a pawn, a slave mistreated in the White Light Guild, where each and every one of his hard-earned contributions were snatched away by his superiors, leaving him only scraps Rho Alpha, D Alpha and Nu Om. Even when he left the guild and started his own, his guild members were bullied and forced to quit and start new accounts in the game. All his effort earned him a single epic item in the game, resulting in him being bullied in the game, and also in real life. He was pressured to sell the item at subpar price. He refused all of the bullies. Drinking with his then best friend and White Light Guild mate Derek, he had what he thought was a small fight over refusing to sell the epic item to White Light. He leaned on his friend on the staircase on his way back home, but the backstabbing bastard pushed him down the stairs. He hit his head hard and got a concussion. He bled out on the way to the hospital. Rudra died at age 28, reincarnating to January 1st, 2100. Now 21, fate gave him the chance to change his destiny. This time he would be a strong guild master. This time he would pay kindness tenfold and revenge 1,000-fold. The guild master who abused him. The girlfriend who dumped him. The best friend who killed him. The peers who mocked him. All of you better watch your backs. Equipped with the knowledge of future, he was confident in his abilities as a gamer to make the difference to put him at the top of the pyramid where he would farm money. 2 Omega. Rudra's father was a stern man, and since Rudra graduated this year but was not placed, he went on to confront him. What plans do you have for the future? If nothing else, come join me in my company, he said. He half expected his son to rebel and them to have an argument, but Rudra was unexpectedly courteous. Please give me 10 grand and a time of 3 months, father. If I fail in my new endeavor, I will surely join your office. This attitude shocked his father. The usually brash kid was feeling very mature to him today. Okay then, do what you want. I will be moving out tomorrow. Father, I will return either having made something out of myself or join you in the next 3 months. His father was worried for him, but he knew in his heart this was one of the make or break moments in a man's life. Being a young ambitious man himself in the past, he could feel his son's burning passion. He agreed and lent Rudra the sum of money, and Rudra rented an apartment for $200 a month and rationed all food necessary. He then went to the shop and bought the best headset for the new game Omega for $5,000. It was not as good as the gaming pods, but it would be a year before those were released, hence, he was now stuck with this 95% neural link headset. Rudra was all set for the launch of the game tomorrow at 12 AM. As he laid in his bed waiting, he created a strategy in his mind, all the things to do and all the hassles to avoid, even though he had played the game for countless hours. He was feeling nervous with butterflies in his stomach. Like he did when he played his first time, he laughed as he found it silly. And soon the countdown to the game started. 10, 9, 8, 2, P alpha and D alpha no 10, 1. Welcome to Omega. He was transported to a temple-like room with a fairy. She said, Light faction. Dark faction. Rudra chose the light faction. Archer. Assassin. Alchemist. Barbarian. Blacksmith. Ranger. Swordsman. Wizard. There were more than 35 classes in Omega, but Rudra had already decided on his class. He would choose the night class.